Today, we're going to do a live 5-3-1 on the top dream opponents for Daniel Bryan and AEW. Last week, we talked top dream opponents for CM Punk and AEW. The flip side of the coin is if Daniel Bryan goes to AEW, who are the dream opponents you'd like to see him face there?
I think the number one thing that the world wants to see is him versus non-recycled plastic.
Thank you. Go ahead. Start it off.
Totally plastic belt. Get him a styrofoam belt. It'll take 1,000 years to decompose.
It'll be fantastic. I'm looking forward to him going up against people like Jungle Boy. I would love to see him versus Eddie Kingston just because I think the two of them on the mic against each other and then in the ring would be fantastic. I think I would love to see him in the ring with Darby Allin. I think that the two of them would have great chemistry together. I believe a lot of people are going to say CM Punk, which is obviously a dream match to have the two of them reignite their feud after almost 20 years. And then my final opponent, this is someone who I think that he would have great chemistry with and would work really well. And I know he's a bit of an underdog, but Kenny Omega.
Just to piggyback off of that, I would have Omega as well. I'm not going to do the CM Punk thing just because we've seen the match before in WWE and Ring of Honor. I think they'd be great. But just thinking, and I know he's wrestled a few matches with Omega here and there. I'm not saying that, but I
just think that they would take the restraints off of them in AEW, so it'd be a completely different match than what we saw last time in the WWE.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think they'd both feel like they have something to prove, so the match would be that much more.
Plus, exciting. I think it would be one of those holy shit moments.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to make my
No, it's fine, Dave. You don't like the
piss on it. Piss on it. I got Kenny Omega. I got Hangman Page. The guy is he's still the hottest commodity right now, I think.
Straight fire.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you with Darby Allin. I'm also going to throw an MJF in there because MJF is so good at the heel promos right now. How could we not have him in there? And, man, I'm going to throw a wild card out there just based off of last week, what we just saw. I'm going to go Malachi Black. This guy just looks like a star right now. I mean, the fucking 1 foot pin on Cody Rhodes and then lays him out afterwards when it looks like Cody's going to retire. His entrance, his outfit, this guy is just on fucking point.
I know we're going to talk about him after, and we're going to talk about AEW after, so I'm not going to go too deep to it, but you can't get somebody more over than what they did with Malachi Black this week.
I thought that was again, I'll just say this real quick. I thought that was, I don't want to say save the show, but I thought they were having they've had so many hot shows recently.
It was a decent show until then.
I thought, we were having a decent average show. And I remember saying to myself, well, they can't all be home runs. This is good. And then I fucking wake up and
they end up hitting a home run.
Okay. I was like, that's a home run.
All right, well, guys, I'll give you my list quick, and then we'll jump into talking about AEW. I've got, obviously, MJF at the top of the list. There's a couple names on my list that you're going to have to use your imagination and hope that we get some cross-promotion work.
Number 2,
I've got Minoru Suzuki because I think Daniel Bryan versus Suzuki, if you could get that on either an AEW or a New Japan card, it would be amazing. Daniel Bryan versus Josh Alexander, I think they would have match of the year if they got together. And then I finish out my list.
Goes on fire.
Kenny Omega and CM Punk. And just like what AJ said, I think that him and Punk, even though it's happened a couple times already, they're both coming into this organization new. They both, I feel like they have something to prove. And it's not something you do right away. But when it happens, it's going to have such significance that I think it's going to be one of his more anticipated matches. Now, we're not going to knock it down to a top 3 and a top 1 because, like you guys said, AEW was so exciting this week. Let's get into talking about it because
I was going to
no way Cody can retire, right?